Hey guys, this is Romney Navarro with Streamline Funding. Happy you could join me. We're going to be talking about a lot of cool things today. Before we get started, before I tell you about the topic, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing here. I'm the CEO of a company called Streamline Funding, a private lender based out of Austin, Texas. I've been a hard money lender, or a private lender as we're now known, since 2008, since the turn of the recession. As we were exiting the Great Recession of 2008 through 2010, I entered the business. Many people think it's crazy. I thought it was serendipitous, but I've learned a lot since then. I learned a lot during then. I learned a lot after then, and currently still learning. I'm also a resident expert for Think Realty. Think Realty is an association, or a membership, a community that I've been associated with now for about 6 years. I've been very fortunate to make great connections with the folks at Think Realty, and frankly, they've helped us grow our business quite a bit. Not only from a local to a regional to a national level, but also from a strategic level. They do have a lot of strategy that they do bring to the table, aside from just tools and resources. So it's been very great to be a member of the Think Realty universe. But further, in 2019, our firm was named the Private Lender of the Year by way of Think Realty Honors. Think Realty Honors being their, I suppose, their rewards or their accolades arm. It was probably one of the biggest honors of my career, and because of that, I really did double down when offered the possibility or the opportunity to be a Think Realty resident expert. I felt like I had something to give back as they've given me so much. Now, with all that said, we're not here for a bio. We're talking about something in particular. We're talking about what we call the 5 C's of underwriting. The 5 C's, I'll tell you what they are, but I'll tell you what they mean. The 5 C's are collateral, credit, cash, character, and of course, credentials. So why do you care about these things? The reason a real estate investor cares about the 5 C's is very simple. It is exactly what a bank or a lender like myself, what we care about. So when you're applying for a loan to obtain any type of mortgage or whatever it may be, to go and say acquire a piece of land, acquire a fixer-upper, a rental property, or even just a new construction project, every lender has their version of the 5 C's that they implement to make a credit decision. So I'm going to talk to you a lot about the 5 C's. The 5 C's are really a unique thing because if you think about it, the 5 C's are kind of the lender's kind of secret ingredient. One person might kind of dash a little bit more of one thing versus the other, but everybody has the same appetite. They're all looking to make sure that each of these boxes are checked. And I'll tell you real quick, guys, I mean, it was probably a couple of years ago where I started thinking about how do I grow my business again? And what we ended up doing is we started focusing very, 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 very kind of laser focused on exactly what the 5 C's meant to us, and more particularly, which ones we wanted to rule in and rule out. As a result, we've created a ton of momentum and we've created a ton of deal flow. So this has been good for my business. Focusing on the 5 C's has been good for my business. I think if you understand what the 5 C's means to you, it could be really good for your business. I associated it a little bit with like a perfect recipe, kind of like ingredients. Where I grew up in South Florida, in Miami, we were Cuban family in Miami. We were all about our food. And I'll give you a little example of what the 5 C's means from a Cuban kid from Miami standpoint. One of the things I grew up eating was a Cuban sandwich. Every Cuban sandwich has the same ingredients. Okay. Every Cuban sandwich has bread, Cuban bread to be specific, roast pork, everybody knows that part, ham, Swiss, mustard, and pickles. 6 things to make a Cuban sandwich. If you remove one of those things and you only have 5, you no longer have a Cuban sandwich. Same things are going to apply to the 5 C's. We're going to talk collateral, credit, cash, character, credentials. If one of those things falls off, all 5 C's aren't met. Doesn't mean the deal can't be done. You could still make a Cuban sandwich without pickles. It's just not a Cuban sandwich. So you could still get a loan closed without, say, cash. It's just not the same type of loan that you were expecting. So moving forward, we're going to talk through a few of the things that were, what's important to the bank, what should be important to you. It's interesting. A lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, investors, maybe in your seat, have a tendency of just, taking risk. And I think that is absolutely a necessary ingredient in any real estate investor's, repertoire. But I remember when I was a kid, I used to look at comics, and one of the things that always stood out to me, I was a Charlie Brown fan, kind of a little dork. And I remember one comic that's kind of stood the test of time, or withstood the test of time for me personally, because I've seen it a number of times as an adult, and now it's taking some business kind of reference. But the comic was pretty funny. It was Charlie Brown shot an arrow, hit the wall, hit the fence, just hit a random spot on the fence. Then he goes up to the fence and he paints a target around the arrow. He hit the bullseye. He shoots another arrow, boom, hits another part of the fence. He walks up to the fence, paints another target on the bullseye. We don't have that luxury in finance. In finance, you have to hit the target, not necessarily paint your target. So I hope what you get out of this is understand the target, understand what collateral means, understand what credit means, understand what cash, so on and so forth means, so you could aim at the target, not go and paint your target. Because if you're going to go try to, shoot your shot and then paint your target, at the end of the day, guys, there's not going to be very many people out there that are going to be willing to take the credit risk on you. So it's going to be a good series of conversations. This was just a little precursor to everything we're going to be talking about. As I mentioned, my name's Romney Navarro. We're going to be doing this for the next several. You're going to be spending, an hour or so with me. So get ready to talk about collateral in the next version of this, and then we'll go from there.